Good evening, everyone. Let me introduce myself. My name is Nova Sherwan Malaysia, Information System Study Program with student ID number 1925233. Today, I want to talk about something we often see but maybe don't really think about smoking on campus. Let's be honest, we've all seen people smoking somewhere around the university, near the parking lot, behind the canteen, or maybe even close to the classroom. Some people say it's their choice, it's their life, and yes, that's true. Everyone has the right to make their own decision. But here's the thing, our choice shouldn't harm other people. When someone smokes in public areas, other people around them also breathe in the smoke. That's called secondhand smoke, and it's just as dangerous as smoking itself. So, even you don't smoke, you still get the bad effect, fogging, headaches, or long-term health problems. That doesn't sound fair, right? Besides, smoking makes the campus look messy. Have you ever noticed how many cigarettes butts are thrown on the ground? They don't just disappear. They stay there for years, polluting the environment. A clean and green campus can look dirty and smelly just because of that smell habit. And honestly, it doesn't give a good impression. When a student or visitor see people smoking everywhere, they might think our campus doesn't care about health or cleanliness, but we do care. We just need to show it through our actions. Now, I'm not saying that smokers are bad people. Not at all. Some students smoke because they're stressed or they just want to relax. I get that. That's why I think the best solution is not to completely ban smoking, but to make special smoking areas away from classroom and crowded spots. That's why smokers still have their space and non-smokers can enjoy fresh air without problems. It's about balance and respect for each other. The campus could also help students who want to quit smoking by giving counseling or holding health campaigns. Sometimes people just need a bit of support to change their habits. So, what do I think? Smoking shouldn't be allowed freely all around the campus. It's not just about freedom, it's about responsibility. We share the space, we breathe the same air, and we all want a clean, healthy place to study and hang out. Let's make our campus better environment, not by judging others, but by showing care and respect for everyone's well-being. Next, I will
Today, I'm
provide.
going to talk about a very practical topic, general direction. Giving and asking for direction might seem simple, but it's an essential skill for real communication in English. Whether you're traveling abroad, helping tourists in your city, or just find your way to a new campus, knowing the right expression can make a difference. Think about this. Have you ever been lost in a place you don't know? It can be confusing, right? You might not speak the local language or you might not know how to read the signs. That's why learning how to ask and give direction clearly and politely is so important. It helps you stay connected, independent, and confident wherever we go. In this presentation, we'll explore three main goals. First, we'll learn how to ask for direction in different polite ways. Second, we'll see how to give clear and simple direction using common phrase. And finally, we'll understand preparation of place, what that describe where things are. By the end of this session, I hope you'll feel more comfortable communicating in real life situation. Before we start giving direction, we need to know the name of common place. Some example the bank, post office, bus station, hospital, supermarket, school, library, park, and museum. These are typical places people ask about, especially when they are new to area. Try to remember this word because we'll use them a lot today. Now, let's look at preparation of place. They'll tell you where something is. We use them to describe location and direction. Here are some examples. Next to, behind something, across from, on the opposite side, between, in the middle of things, behind, at the back, in front of, before or ahead of something, on the corner of, at the intersection of two streets. These words make your direction clear and easy to follow. When you ask for direction, politeness is key. Here are some expressions you can use. Excuse me, can you tell me how to get to the bank? Could you please show me the way to the library? Where is the nearest hospital, please? How can I get to train station? Always start with excuse me and end with please. This will show respect and make your request sound friendly. When someone asks you for direction, it's important to speak slowly, use gesture, and give short steps. Here are some useful phrases. Go straight ahead, or turn left, or turn right, or go past to the park. It's on your left, it's on your right, it's next to the park. For example, go straight ahead, then turn right at traffic lights. The school is on your left. Clear, simple, and easy to understand. Native speakers often use natural expression when giving direction. For example, it's about 5 minutes from here. It's opposite the supermarket. It's just around the corner. You can miss it, meaning it's easy to find. It's right next to the post office. These phrases make your directions more natural and conversation. Let's look a short dialogue. Excuse me, where is the nearest ATM? Go straight and turn right at the lights. The ATM is next to the pharmacy. Notice how the person B gives short, clear steps. That's why make it easy to follow. Another example. How do I get to the bus station? Go along this street. Then turn left after the bank. The library is behind the museum. Again, notice how we use landmarks, bank, and museum to make it easier for the listener to visualize the route. Landmarks are key when giving someone direction. People remember places better than street names. For example, go past the park and you'll see the post office next to the cafe. When we input something visual like a park, cafe, or a building, the listener can easily recognize where to turn. Sometimes, what aren't enough? That's when a map gesture help. You can point with your hand or even draw the route on paper or your phone. For instance, saying go this way while pointing helps a lot more than just saying turn left. Nonverbal communication supports verbal communication. Let's review with some example. The school is next to the hospital. The bank is across from the office. The park is behind the library. The cafe is on corner of Green Street and King Avenue. These are realistic examples you might use when describe a city map. Let's do a quick practice together. Try saying this. Excuse me, can you tell me how to get to the station? Or could you please show me the way to the park? Can you please show me the way to the nearest bus stop? Good job. The key is sound, polite, and clear. Now, let's try giving direction. First, go straight, then turn left at the traffic light. Second, it's across from the hospital next to the cafe. Remember, giving too many details at once can confuse the listener. Keep it simple and check if they understand. In English-speaking countries, it's common to give direction using landmarks or time estimates, like it is 10-minute walk or it's near the train station. Being polite is also very important. People are more willing to help if you smile and say please or thank you. Here are some helpful tips. Use short, simple sentences. Repeat key points if necessary. Use your hands or map. Speak slowly and clearly. And by seeking understanding, for example, says, did you get that? These small things make communication smoother and avoid confusion. And of course, there are some mistakes to avoid. Don't speak too fast. Don't forget polite words like excuse me. Don't give a good direction like over there without pointing. Don't overwhelm the listener with too much information. Good direction are simple, polite, and straight. So, to summarize the work learning today, we've explored how to ask and give direction in English. We learned useful vocabulary and preposition of phrase, and we practice polite and clear expression. Remember, being helpful and polite when giving direction is not only good communication, but also good manners. And that brings us to the end of my presentation. Thank you so much for listening and paying attention. I hope you feel more confident asking and giving direction in English. Let's make communication easier, one direction at a time. Any question?